Hello internet, it's me Josh, the Aging Gamer. So here I am, I'm back in the flesh. Fear not, for I have returned, whether you like it or not. So, I guess I should start by reviewing a retro video game. Since I'm making a return, let's go ahead and take a look at a video game that also saw a character returning. Let's take a look at Mega Man 2 for the NES. So after the release of the first Mega Man game, director Akira Kitamura wanted to create a sequel, and Capcom said, no! The first Mega Man game just didn't have high enough sales to justify a sequel. However, Capcom ended up agreeing to a sequel under the condition that the development team works concurrently with other Capcom projects. Inafune, who also returned for the sequel, claimed that the team ended up working 20-hour days in an attempt to get this game made. The development team were super passionate about a sequel to Mega Man, and despite being overworked, put a lot of love and effort into the game. And in about 3 to 4 months, Mega Man 2 was made and released in December of 1988. So to give a bit of context, I didn't play any Mega Man games growing up. I know, take my retro gaming license away from me. How could I not know about the series that is Mega Man? Well, last year I ended up playing and reviewing the very first Mega Man game, and I really liked it. And now there's Mega Man 2, the highest selling Mega Man game in the entire franchise, and the one that put the Mega Man series on the map. The game received nothing but high praise when it was first released, but that was back in 1988. How is it now? Well, let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mega Man 2! God damn, that theme song is epic. This whole soundtrack is just bitchin'. So before we start with this review, let's take a look at that box art. We all know how awful the first game's box art was, but in comparison, this one is so much better. But it's still really wrong. We see Mega Man with this helmet being more of a biker helmet. And why are his eyes so squinty? In the game, his eyes take up half of his face. And the most insulting part of this cover, instead of his arm cannon, he's using a gun. A gun that looks like it's shooting sideways, no less. But hey, if you think this box art is weird, look at the European version. A big old silver Mega Man and a big old silver version of the Dragon Boss, and for whatever reason, the Lanternfish enemy is featured. The German box art is a bit better, with it looking a lot more dynamic, but Mega Man has that, oh shit, how do I write this look on his face. And, of course, the Famicom version is the best, as all the characters are accurate looking, and it represents the game better as a whole. But anyway, let's get back to the game and talk about the story. In the year 2000X, oh shit, this game is no longer about the future. Mega Man defeated Dr. Wily. 1 year later, Dr. Wily returns with 8 evil robot masters he's created to challenge Mega Man. Let's go kick his ass! I love that title screen, it's so dynamic looking. Mega Man is just standing on the rooftop like he's Batman, and then he teleports into action like a Power Ranger. It's cool! So, as I mentioned before, we got 8 evil robots to fight compared to the first game's 6. And like the first game, defeating a boss will give you a power-up that will be super strong against a different boss. So where do we start? Oh, how about Metal Man? Why Metal Man? 2 words! Metal motherfucking blade! So we start in some weird gear factory, and there's our good old rock and roll robot. Gameplay-wise, absolutely nothing has changed since the first game, so if you play that one, you'll feel right at home here. Mega Man jumps with A and shoots with B. He has a life bar, and when he gets power-ups, they use energy that you can refill by collecting these things from bad guys. Also, keep an eye out for these energy tanks that you can stock in your inventory and save for later. So, right away, Mega Man lands on some moving floors. They're a minor inconvenience compared to some of the other traps like these dropping spikes. There's also these drill baddies coming out of the ground. They look dangerous, but they're actually really useful for stocking up on items, and if you're lucky, you'll even get some extra lives. This stage is pretty straightforward, with only a few minor bad guys to fight. So here's that boss door. Jump through, always jump through, and we'll go head to head with Metal Man. dodge his saws, and keep shooting his ass. Yeah, we got our upgrade, and if you want, we also got a password. Writing down a numbered code would have been easy, but I don't want to pull out the graph paper for this one. So now we got the metal blade. It's the handiest weapon and something you'll want to have equipped pretty much all the time. It's a big saw that you can shoot all the way across screen. You can shoot it in 8 different directions, including directly underneath you. It goes through most tiles, it can hit multiple enemies at once, and most importantly, it hardly takes any energy to use. There's only a few enemies that you can't harm with it. Other than that, it's the most handy weapon to have. Die, die, die! The only downside is that Mega Man turns into an ugly tan color. So because he has a weakness of the metal blade, we're gonna fight the least scary sounding robot next, Bubble Man. You'd think all of the robots would have a weakness to getting sawed in half, but to Bubble Man we go. We're dropped in a water level with some cool waterfall effects. The first part of the level is above water, but then we get to dive deep. The underwater sections allow us to have some big old jumps, which can actually be quite dangerous because there's spikes everywhere. There's a cool looking lanternfish enemy, a frog enemy that barfs out small frogs, and oh shit, a robot Metroid! Eventually we'll make our way to Bubble Man, where he attacks you with, you guessed it, bubbles. Freaking bubbles! In these old 8-bit and 16-bit games, I never got why of all things, bubbles would often be used as hazards. The only time a bubble's gonna hurt you in real life is if it maybe pops in your eye. Other than that, it's just gonna leave soap on you, essentially making you clean. Whatever. So let's saw Bubble Man to death and we'll watch him explode. Now we got his bubble lead power, and since water beats fire, let's fight against Heat Man next. You know, Heat Man kinda seems like a cheap gimmick character considering we just had Fireman in the last game. And what's with that face? Why would a robot look so dumbfounded? Duh! In Heat Man stage, we deal with some annoying enemies, but they're easy to dispose of if you got that fantastic metal blade. Did I mention how much I love this thing? We'll reach a part here with some disappearing, reappearing blocks. This particular part is nowhere near as annoying as the sections from Iceman stage in the first Mega Man game. You'll come across a few more Houdini blocks before reaching this section. This can be a pain because if you fall off a block, you're freaking dead. Damn it! Ah! Ah, that's bullshit! Get through all of this though, and Heat Man is right around the corner. Hit him with some lead bubbles to annihilate him. Haha, booyah! Now we got the atomic fire power-up. Not only that, but Dr. Light will give you a new mighty power-up, Item 1. Yep, Item 1. This power-up gives you a handy little platform. Neat. Next, let's tackle Woodman. I love this boss because he's just so ridiculous looking. I mean, he looks like someone cosplaying a tree, and his head is just a freaking tree trunk with a face. I really like this level too because it contains one of my favorite songs in the game outside of the title screen. This game just has such awesome music. In Woodman stage, you're in the woods. Kill all of the robot wildlife, including bats, giant fire-breathing kitty cats, apes, and birds. As for the boss fight with Woodman, he uses a razor leaf attack and has an annoying leaf shield. We gotta wait for an opening to attack. Do we use the new fire weapon we just got from Heat Man? No! Use the metal blade! Next we're fighting Airman. In this stage, we got these ugly mugs that are straight up annoying. They got drills that go up and down on top of their head, and their sides shoot out these pesky little enemies that follow you around. Be patient to avoid damage, or if you're like me, you say fuck it, take the hit and go as quick as you can. Once we get to Airman, we'll equip our leaf shield. It takes only 2 hits to destroy him. Hot damn! Defeating Airman not only gives us the air shooter power-up, but Dr. Light will also give us item number 2. It's a little rocket platform that you can stand on to zoom across the screen. Man, that would have been really useful back in Heatman stage. Anyway, Crashman is our next target. This stage has quite a few moving platform gimmicks we have to go through. Like always, use the good old metal blade to easily defeat the enemies around you. It makes this section so much easier. We'll watch as the day sky turns into night, or maybe we're in space, and we'll reach Crashman soon enough. The air shooter power-up will make quick work of him. Now we got the Crash Bomber power-up. Next up, Quick Man. And hey, here's a random Easter egg for you. If you hold down the A and B button while selecting a Robot Master, you'll get birds instead of stars in the background. It doesn't do anything beyond that, but I think it's cool. Anyway, Quick Man stage doesn't seem too hard. You just kind of run around and... What the fuck? Oh shit! What? This is a huge trial and error stage. Even if you know exactly where to go, you'll still barely escape each laser coming at you. Whew, we made it. There's an area where the lights turn on and off, and then, ah shit, more lasers! We make our way to Quickman, and he's not that quick. He just jumps around the stage shooting little boomerangs. Use the Crash Bomber to dispose of this fool. We get the quick boomerang power-up, and now we're going against the final Robot Master, Flashman. We appear in a cool-looking blue flashing room. The flooring is slippery like ice for whatever reason, so I guess that's the stage's gimmick. At this point, I can use the Crash Bomber to blow up these walls to take an easier path to avoid some traps. Since this level's so slippery, this is the only time I won't jump through those doors. Let's slide in all cool like. As for Flashman, he'll occasionally freeze you, but I Metal Blade this clown out of existence. We get the Time Stopper power-up, and Dr. Light gives us item number 3, which is a platform that bounces around and lifts you to the top of the screen. Dr. Wily appears, wiggles his brows, then flies to the fortress. The fortress is actually pretty badass, but the more you look at it, it's like, why is there a skull? And giant bones? This dude is obsessed with robots, so a sudden skull-themed lair is not what I would have expected. So now we're entering Dr. Wily's lair. There's only a few more levels now. We're almost done. We got this. The first level isn't too long. We move forward, we make some platforms, and do some climbing. We start running and jumping here when all of a sudden the giant robot dragon appears. He's so adorable looking. I don't really want to kill him, but, you know, we got to. The hardest part of this boss fight is watching your footing. You only have so much room to jump around on. Once you get to this part, it's just dodging and shooting. I use just the regular Mega Man form, and I'm able to dispose of him. The next level has some enemies and traps that we've already seen in past stages. The boss is just walls around you, slowly coming apart and attacking you. Shoot him down, and then we move on. The next stage has us in the sewers of the fortress. Ew, robot sewage. Ugh. There's some ridiculous looking giant fish here, and a bunch of spike balls to avoid. The end boss of this stage is a giant Gutsman tank? Judging by this boss and the Gutsman statues in Wily's lair from the first game, I guess Wily really does have a hard-on for Gutsman. Well, anyway, use the quick boomerang to make quick work of them. The next stage will be climbing, and there's more moving platform gimmicks. At the end, our boss is a room with lasers? Okay, so this level can be super frustrating because you can only destroy these walls and these lasers with the Crash Bomber, but you don't have enough weapon energy to hit everything. So choose your targets wisely. Now on to the 5th stage. We go through a boss rush mode, and it's exactly what it sounds like. destroy all 8 robot bosses again, and we'll fight Dr. Wily in one of his ships. First, we destroy his front windshield. It could take quite a few hits, but if you get a fully charged atomic fire shot, you'll bust his windshield in one hit. I just Metal Blade him a bunch afterwards, and once his ship is destroyed, he escapes. Alright, now we're on the final stage. Dr. Wily, your ass is grass, and Mega Man is the frickin' lawnmower. We walk through here and there's blood? Human blood? Robot blood? Mountain blood? What is this even? Dr. Wily is an alien? What? So, Dr. Wily, alien, can't be harmed by any weapon other than just one. Can you guess which one it is? It's the goddamn bubbles. The freaking bubbles! Why in the video game world do bubbles just fuck people up so much? So yeah, blow some bubbles to defeat him. So Wily isn't really an alien, he's just a weirdo. And that's the end. Mega Man walks towards the camera as the seasons change. I guess Mega Man went walking for a whole year then. Silly robot. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Mega Man 2 for the NES. So, how does this game hold up? If I'm being perfectly honest, this is one of the best NES games I've ever played. From start to finish, this game is just awesome. Mega Man is one badass little robot that's fun to play as, and even more so when you get all the cool power-ups. The levels here are short but sweet, and you always get an interesting boss fight at the end. In every level, there's that excitement of wanting to see what kind of cool robot master you're going to fight, and also what kind of cool new move you'll obtain from beating it. You just don't get that kind of excitement or reward from beating a level in any other game. And there's so many different ways to play this game. The level route I took was just the way I went, but there's so many ways you can go through this game. It's really up to you. And again, the music here is really good. It gets your blood pumping, and it makes you feel like you're on a really cool mission to save the world. It's amazing. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I don't play Mega Man games. It's just not something that I got into as a kid. But playing Mega Man 2 actually makes me upset that I didn't have this game as a kid. I know this game would have hooked me into the series if I had it. This game is a must play. I can't really think of anything bad to say about it. I mean, the game is a bit easier than the first. The Metal Blade is pretty OP, and it seems like enemies drop a lot of health and weapon energy, so you're constantly in good shape. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing though, because I was still having fun. Oh, and I was playing on normal mode. There's a difficult setting if you want a real challenge. Choosing difficult actually changes it to the Japanese version of the game, where the robot masters take more hits to kill. It's brutal. So all in all, I really like the game. It's a great improvement over the first game, and it's fantastic for a video game that came out in 1988, nearly 34 years ago. It's got me pumped and ready to play more Mega Man games, but I think I'll save my review for Mega Man 3 just a little bit further down the line. But what do you guys think? What do you think of Mega Man? You like the game? Hate the game? Let me know. Let me know what your favorite Mega Man game is. And I thank you guys for watching. It feels good to be back. I missed you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like if you want. Subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, because I got more videos coming. And again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.